5 league wins on the spin? They couldn't. Surely not. This weekend, Derby head to Leyton Orient. They head to Brisbane Road. Off the back of 4 league wins in a row and a win in the EFL Trophy on Tuesday night, Derby go into this game on good form. They have 4 wins and a loss in their past 5 games. The loss coming against Crewe Alexandra in the FA Cup replay. Derby head to Brisbane Road this weekend with a lot of players battling for their positions. You have the likes of John-Jules, who's scoring off the bench every game so far. That's 2 in 2 for him after Tuesday. You've got James Collins, who scored twice on Tuesday. You've got the likes of Tony Weston and Adebayo Fapatu, the youngsters, trying to make a name for themselves and get themselves into the squad. And they are looking to continue their form. Leyton Orient, a bit on the opposite side to Derby. They've lost 3 and drew 2 of their 5 previous games. Something that their manager will be looking to take care of. Obviously, Leyton Orient will be at home, hoping to make the most of home advantage. They'll be hoping that they can get one over on Derby. Derby is a big scalp in League One, as we already know. But can Leyton Orient do it? Or can Derby make it 5 in a row in the league? Let's go over now and take a proper look at the form. If we scroll down here and we look at Leyton Orient first, they lost 1-0 to Chesterfield, National League Chesterfield, just the other day. And they drew 1-1 with Bristol Rovers, 1-1 with Wigan Athletic. They lost 1-0 to Lincoln City and they lost 3-2 to Oxford United. I think it's important that we also take a look at Derby's results. A 3-0 thrashing against Fleetwood Town on Tuesday night, beating Port Vale 1-0 late on in the game last Tuesday. Derby also beat Bristol Rovers, who Leyton Orient failed to beat. A 3-1 defeat to Crewe Alexandra is the big standout for Derby, but I'm sure that's something they're looking to put behind them. We go into this fixture knowing that Leyton Orient don't score many and they don't concede many, so Derby are going to have to be at their clinical best to win this game. Leyton Orient, on the other hand, look at Derby and see they're free scoring, they don't concede many. What can we do? What they've got to do is they've got to hit us on the counter. They've got to make it hard for us in that final third. Being a home side, they shouldn't do this, but if they sit in, we've seen what Derby are like against teams that sit in and counter. We don't know what to do. We just can't get the ball out of play. It's going to be an interesting game. It's one I'm really looking forward to. I'm really hoping that Derby can get that next win on the board. As we now go and look at the league table, if you look at the top 10 here, you can see Derby are in 6th place on 33 points. They're 2 points clear of Barnsley in 7th place, 3 points ahead of Blackpool. But the most important thing is that they are 2 points behind Peterborough. If we win on the weekend, it is a high possibility that we could go ahead of Peterborough with that win. We're also not that far behind Stevenage, only 3 points. We're only 6 points behind Bolton and 9 points behind Portsmouth. So it's very important this weekend that we continue our good form. Something we have to keep in mind is we have a game in hand on Peterborough, 2 games in hand on Stevenage and a game in hand on Portsmouth. We need to keep up our good results as long as possible heading into this festive period where the schedule gets Saturday, Tuesday, because we need them points. If we can get them points on the board and get ourselves up to 3rd, 4th heading into January, before we make any signings, we could be in a very good place heading into the back end of this season.
It's just come to my attention, 63% of you are not subscribed. What are you doing? Click that red button right now.
Obviously, it's massively important that we keep our players fit and get some of our injured players to return. So let's just take a look now at Leyton Orient in this league table. Let's scroll down a little bit further. As you can see here, Leyton Orient are sitting 16th in the league with 5 wins, 7 draws and 7 losses. They find themselves on 22 points. As I've previously stated, you can see on the right hand side, they have 3 draws and 2 losses in their past 5 games. Obviously, in the cup game against Chesterfield, they also lost that. So it's important to keep that in mind. That might be playing on their minds heading into this game. We look at this league table and what does it tell you? It tells you that Fleetwood Town are only 6 points behind Leyton Orient. Now, as Derby fans will know from Tuesday night, Fleetwood aren't the best side. But if they can pick up some results against them teams around the bottom, Leyton Orient could start to look in trouble. Leyton Orient will be heading into this game looking to rectify their bad form. As we know, they obviously aren't the biggest team in League One, but can they turn it around on Derby? We've already seen this season, Cheltenham Town held Derby to a 1-1 draw. Cambridge United held Derby at Pride Park. So, do you think Leyton Orient can do the same? Let me know down in the comments. Let's now look at Leyton Orient's manager. His name is Richie Wellens. He is 43 years old. He's managed 91 matches since joining Leyton Orient. He has won 40, drew 23 and lost 28. He is a manager who helped them gain promotion last season, and it's important that he keeps up the positivity there at Leyton Orient. If they can stay in this division, that is big, big for them. After taking a look at Richie Wellens, the Leyton Orient manager, let's now take a look at what players could provide some danger for the Derby County defence. I'm going to butcher this name, so just bear with me. But Raul Sartorio has got 6 goals and 2 assists this season. That is mega. Something Derby need to watch out for. He needs to be shut down, stopped at the source. Let's not get him any service. You also see the likes of Shakai Ford with 3. You see Joe Piggott on 2. All players who can pop in with goals. You look in the assist category, you've got Jordan Graham and Theo Archibald joining in that area. So, do I think Derby can shut Leyton Orient down? Absolutely, of course I do. But does it matter what I think? No. Are the team going to do it? That's the important thing. Do I think Erin Cashin can stop us conceding? Do I think Curtis Nelson will be back in the fray? Do I think Curtis Nelson will be back in the fray to defend our goals? Let's get into it. Let's see what Paul Warne's had to say during the press conference. So we're now looking at Derby's team, and it's time to talk about Paul Warne's press conference. He noted during the press conference that Ryan Nyambe was struggling a little bit with a knock and might not be available at the weekend. He also noted that Tyrese Forner might not be available too. He also had no mention for Corey Smith, who's a player who we might not know a lot about because of his injury recently. But is he a player that's going to be available this weekend? No, he's not. Simple. He's not going to be about. It's interesting. He started to talk about Liam Thompson. Liam Thompson, who started the season for Derby excellently. He is set to return to training next week, hopefully getting match fit for that busy festive period. Especially with Tyrese Forner picking up an injury and Corey Smith not being available, having Liam Thompson back in and around the squad for upcoming games, not tomorrow, but upcoming games, will be massively important. Louis Sibley missed out on the Fleetwood fixture due to a suspension. Do I think he'll be back in the squad? Yes, I do. I think Derby are going to struggle this weekend for players because if we scroll further down, we see that Martin Waghorn and Connor Washington both have injuries. Connor Washington I previously spoke about in my last matchday preview. He's out for up to 3 months, which sees it the end middle of February time. Martin Waghorn, we're not yet sure of the length of his injury, but he came off after the first half against Fleetwood and he looks to be out with a calf problem. Paul Warne also had a lot to say about Tyrese John-Jules. We know what sort of player he is after just the 2 games that we have seen recently. He came on against Port Vale and scored the winner. He came on against Fleetwood on Tuesday and scored again. He's a player who adds a lot of excitement, but Paul Warne wanted to reiterate to the Derby County fans, he's not going to rush him into the first team, into starting, because he doesn't want a reoccurrence of his recent injury. I think this is a positive step for Paul Warne and Tyrese John-Jules, a player who struggled a lot with injury recently. So what I want you to do is I want you to let me know down in the comments, what do you think the starting 11 will be tomorrow, and let me know your score predictions. And so please like, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think is going to happen this weekend. Make sure to go and find me on TikTok, pictured here, and Twitter, pictured here. These are the places where I'll keep you all up to date with all my upcoming videos and my thoughts and feelings around the Formula 1 and football weekend.